All right, let me give y'all a day update now that I'm home. Not gonna hold you. This comment humbled the shit out of me because I was late. But only by 10 minutes. Tell me why he was 30 minutes late. And then he gonna say when I got there, oh, I'm 15 minutes away. He lied. And my thing is like, why are you asking me out and you late? I understand it may be hypocritical because I was still late. I understand. But don't have me waiting on you. And you ask for my time. Be so serious. So yeah, I already had an attitude, but I get to the place basically, and because I was like, I literally missed our reservation by 2 minutes. They would not seat us. All the bars were full. So then we had to think about where else to go. But that was just annoying to me. I ended up basically staying a place. We ended up going to Doimoy, if y'all are familiar, and we didn't really like it for real. So that was that. But he was just, he had to ride in my car. I had to drive him to Doimoy because he ended up Ubering, and that was the whole thing. Because I just feel like you could have communicated this whole thing a lot better. I could have just had you reroute your Uber, but he was like, no, wait there. So I had to wait for him to get to the first spot. It was just annoying. But then the cherry on top, honestly, for me, was that he asked me 3 separate times in 3 different ways to come over after. And I'm just like, why?
You made reservations to go to a spot for dinner, and y'all know how it is now. Like, all these spots require you to make reservations and things like that. So you definitely gotta be on time, because if you're not there, you know how it is. Like, if you don't get to certain spots on time, and they'll hold your spot for a certain amount of time, and then after that, man, they gonna give it to the next customers. You messed up there, and then she said he didn't drive there. You Ubered to the spot, which is nothing wrong with that, of course. But my thing is, you was late, but you had no backup plans. When a woman has to lead, now she's gonna feel like the man, and naturally she's going to look at you as weak. And now she's losing respect for you because you don't have nothing else planned. You already late, you know what I'm saying? So that's already destroying the vibe, because it's just like nothing is going right. So for a first date and everything is going like that, a woman's gonna look at that like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, put your pants on, like what's up?
Cherry on top, honestly, for me, was that he asked me 3 separate times in 3 different ways to come over after. And I'm just like, why? Like, it never gave that. And I feel like the guys under he did it was so corny and just like young to me. He was like, oh, he still wants to spend time with me. Like, he was like, oh, I don't want to like have the night end. I'm like, okay, like, what you have in mind? Me being me, I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I could do some hookah. Like, we could go get hookah. Of course, like, Doimoy is like on that, like in that area, like U Street area, whatever. I'm like, we could do the hookah. He was like, oh, like, what about if we just like go to your place and watch a movie?
You know, there is nothing wrong with asking a woman to come back to your spot, but the thing is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you asked 3 different times in 3 different ways, so that's saying that you're putting too much pressure on the situation. Anytime you're pressing a woman, she can sense that, you know what I'm saying, you got scarcity going on in your life. But, you know, beyond that, a woman has to be in the mood, man. Like, she gotta feel good. Like, she has to be feeling really good for her to come back to your spot. So if she's not feeling it, she's not going to come. She clearly didn't do a good enough job on the date, because it's like, if y'all weren't kind of intimate during the date, like if you haven't been getting that type of vibe from her, or the conversations haven't been flowing, yeah, she's not gonna want to come back to your spot. Like, in my experience, women only come back to my spot early on, first, second date, when the vibe is right, they're really feeling me, I'm not pressing them on no issue. And what happens is, you probably was asking midway through the date, hey, you want to go back to my spot, trying to rush things instead of enjoying the date, trying to catch a vibe, see where her head is at, making her feel good. And then also too, like I say on this channel all the time, women value safety and security. So if you're pressing her, is that gonna make her feel safe and secure? Versus if you just comfortable, nonchalant, laid back on a date, asking questions, not forcing things. When you go with that type of vibe, then you see, you gotta be able to read the room. When you set the vibe right and the mood right during the date, yeah, she gonna be more open to come back to your spot. But when you trying to press it and trying to rush it, and then you gotta think, you already messed up early on when you ain't have no second spot to go to. She had to wait on you so you can ride in her car to the second spot. So it seems like a lot of this stuff is premeditated. Like you purposely came late to the date so you can get in her car, go to the second spot. So now she's responsible to take you home. So it seems like a setup. And when a woman senses that, she's gonna be turned off, you know what I'm saying? Because it's showing that you lack in your life, you're pressing it, you're hiding some insecurity. You know what I'm saying? It's not authentic, it feels rushed. It's a first date, my guy. Like, slow it down.
Be so serious. Then he said it again in a different way, and he was like, oh, it's just a movie, it's not that deep. Like, what? Third time he said it again, that's when I was like, all right, I'm good. Like, yeah, walking back to my car, I'm okay. And he was like, oh, he knew it was a risk asking me, but he's a risk taker.
So what my man said again, oh, I knew it was a risk asking you, but I'm a risk taker. Like, what? Like, a lot of times dudes make these contradicting statements like, oh, you will never find another dude like me. All that's showing is that you're a sore loser. Straight up, you know what I'm saying? When you make a statement like that, you're kind of showing that you're a sore loser, because you're saying like, oh, I still had to shoot my shot. But why are you letting that be known? That's already known because you shot your shot. You don't need to make that blanket statement. That's not going to add any points. That's not going to help you at all. So making a statement like that is super weak. It's a sucker move, man.
Go to hell. Take that risk and shove it up your ass, because I'm so confused. Like, respect me. It's so weird. It just never gave that. And then it's like, for you to know that it's a risk and you still took it, it just gives you're not smart.
All right, so I don't necessarily agree with her saying respect, all that respect me stuff. I understand that you should respect women. Women should be respecting men, right? But my whole thing is, dude, if she was actually feeling you and attracted to you, she wouldn't be offended if you asked her to come to your spot. Women only get offended when they don't like you. When they have no attraction to you, you haven't set the mood right, you know what I'm saying? And you've been putting pressure on them all night. You haven't been leading the way. Your plans is getting messed up. Reservations is getting canceled. And that setting, trying to ask her to come back to your spot, yeah, in her eyes, is going to be disrespectful. Because she's like, how dare you, dude? You know what I'm saying? You ain't did nothing right the whole night. My whole thing is when you set the mood right and she's attracted to you and y'all had a good vibe during the day, good conversations, you know what I'm saying? And the intimacy is there, then she's not going to be offended when you actually come back to your spot. But the overall point I want to make to this video is, man, dude, you got to pay attention to the room. You got to be able to read the room. I know when the vibe is not right. When the vibe is off to me, there's no point of asking a woman to come back to my spot, because I already know what time it is. You got to be able to read a woman's body language. You know what I'm saying? Is she into the conversations during the date? Is she having a good time? Is she enjoying the drinks? Is she enjoying herself? You got to be able to pick up on that. Also, too, asking a woman 3 different times is you're spinning the block 3 different times. You know what I'm saying? She already rejected you the first time. Whenever you ask a woman to come back to your spot, you don't ever ask again in that same, window of time. You don't ever do that, because all that's showing her is that, you know what I'm saying, that you're not respecting her decision. And when you can't respect a woman's decision like that, it's showing her that she shouldn't respect you. You got to think, most women have dealt with crazy scenarios, whether that's almost getting raped or a man going too far or harassment or a stalking situation. So you got to understand, those are all, with everything Buddy did on a date, those are all red flags to a woman of, I shouldn't be messing with this dude. Because, so Josh, what's the point of us showing this video? The point of this video that I want y'all to understand is that, never press people for nothing. Never press women, never spin the block. Always believe in yourself. Be naturally you, be nonchalant. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the dates with women. Don't have all these unrealistic expectations in your head. Let it flow. When you let things flow, it turns out better. When I go on dates, my whole thing is I just want to have a good time. I sit back, I enjoy myself. I have my little drink, I got my food. If I'm out if I'm out on a date getting some food, I'm at the sports bar, I'm with the woman, I'm kicking back, and I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm not thinking about ulterior motives. Y'all dudes be thinking, oh, I gotta get her back to my crib. I gotta get her back to my crib. Y'all be thinking about that so hard that naturally your energy is giving that off. What I do is I just sit back, enjoy the conversation, like I said. And at the end of the day, if I see that we vibed out the whole time, then I'll be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You want to come back to my spot, maybe have some wine, have some good conversation. Then it's fitting for that scenario. But when everything that went wrong and you didn't plan the date right and you was late and it wasn't good vibes and you asked 3 different times, of course she's going to be offended. Cause she's like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? You haven't turned her on at all. But you expect for her to come back. See, you dudes be putting too much pressure on women. Pressure to women is like, it's disgusting. It's weak behavior, like I said. If you press, man, she gonna go to the next, man. That's all, you know what I'm saying? If you press, she gonna be like next, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, just learn how to enjoy yourself, you know what I'm saying? Be able to read the room, don't press nobody, and that's in life general. Don't press nobody, fall back and let them show you by their actions, you know what I'm saying? Let them show you. All right, guys, that's my video for today, man. I appreciate you guys for coming over to the channel, man. I appreciate all the new subscribers, guys. Guys, make sure you continue to share the content. Also, make sure you continue to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm gone.